Hi guys, my name is Braskus, and welcome to a new Let's Play of a game that I've been very excited to do. It came out about 6 months ago, Elite Dangerous. To sum up what Elite Dangerous is, it's a space simulator. So the idea is that you get dropped in the middle of the galaxy with a ship on loan to you by the Pilot Federation, and you are then let loose to survive in the galaxy however you see fit. It is technically an MMO style of gameplay, so you can run into other players while you're out and about. And you can do bounty hunting, piracy, you can do trading, jobs, smuggling, any sort of different things you want to do. And all of this with the general goal in mind of just making money so you can buy new ships. This is the current ship that I'm using. It's the third ship that I've owned. The first one was called the Sidewinder, the next one is the Adder, and this one is the Diamondback Explorer. I've almost finished retrofitting it so that we can do some really cool exploration stuff. So I plan on doing a few more videos besides this one. This one's sort of a general introduction to the game as a whole. But once I've finished retrofitting this one with the last module that I need, and it's an expensive one, then we can start exploring. And specifically, the goal in mind here is to explore systems that contain interesting things to see how well they've interpreted those, such as in the very center of the galaxy is Sagittarius A, which is a supermassive black hole that I would love to go and visit in the game and see what it does. To give you guys a scale of exactly how big this game is, we're going to check out the galaxy map. Now this is where we're located at. Let me see if I can see. It's going to be under navigation. We'll set it on economical routes. That way it'll be less crazy. This is showing all of the most economical routes from the star that I'm at to the stars that are around. So you can see there's a decent number of stars. We're zoomed all the way in. Why don't we zoom out a bit? There are so many systems that, if I remember correctly, it would take everyone on Earth something in the neighborhood of like 35,000 years or something to explore all of these stars individually if we all started playing right now. Maybe that's not quite right, I might be misquoting it, but it would take a very, very long time because this is built on a 1-for-1 scale with the Milky Way. And every single one of those little bright pinpoints of light is something you can explore. This particular one is nearly 30,000 light years away, but I could go there. In fact, Sagittarius A. I'm not 100% positive, but I'm pretty sure that that little system right there, the one that we know is a supermassive black hole, if we go to the info it tells us, that is, I believe, the black hole that is theorized to be at the exact center of the Milky Way galaxy. So, now that I've talked to everybody about exactly what makes this game so cool to me, why don't we go pick up a job, and I'll show you what it's like to make a little bit of money. I should actually just go back to... That should be the system I'm at, right? Yeah. And I like to change the navigation from economical to fastest. You'll see that there's about 1 million of those little things now, because I have a device called an FSD, which they call a frame shift drive. And my frame shift drive allows me to fly 24, 25 light years from any one system, so economically there's only a few that it will plot a route through. Fastest, it'll go to a whole bunch more systems because I don't mind jumping the extra distance. So we're going to exit this and enter Starport Services. We're going to just check out the bulletin board and see if I can find a job that I want to do, or one that I don't mind doing real quick. Illegal jobs pay a lot more money, but if you get caught with the stuff in your hold, then you can get fined, which honestly just kind of cuts into the profits. It's not really enough to make it worth it to not do it. So we're going to go here. We will be transporting slaves from where we're at now to the Shamatana system at Irwin Port Outpost. So we've accepted the job. And then we're going to exit. Oh, and there's free look too, so you can check out the inside of your ship, which I think my ship is pretty freaking cool. I love this thing. I was so excited when I picked it up. And it's expensive. The base model is, what was it? 1.8 million credits, I believe. The most expensive job I've ever been paid for was 200,000 credits. Oh, right, and we're inside of Tevis Port. This is what the inside of a space station looks like in this game. And the attention to detail is phenomenal. You can actually look, let's see, I'll try and see if I, right here, you can see a car driving on the road there. They'll drive all the way around. You can see him running up and around there on the ceiling. There's one right there, just almost in the middle of the screen. It's going into that little gray box there. These guys put a lot of attention to detail. They actually calculated the systems. So when the port, we're going to exit out through that airlock in a minute. And when we do, you might notice that the system is rotating. And the reason it's rotating at the speed it is because they calculated that's how fast it has to rotate to produce gravity inside the system. So they did a lot of stuff in a pretty realistic way.
Released. Engines engaged. Landing gear retracted.
The other thing I like about this game is there's a lot of stuff you got to keep an eye on. So I can fly the ship itself, but the controls for flying it, you have to pay attention. You have to know when to request docking. You have to handle your thrusters, rotational, pitch, yaw, all that fun stuff. You've got access to your boosters, your landing gear. You can balance the power of your ship. So if you look in the bottom right there, you can see I can put extra power in the systems, which is my shields, my weapons, or my engines. And if I don't want any one of those the way they are...
detected.
Ah, crap. We're probably going to get fined.
Frameshift drive charging.
Because I just got scanned. Did I get scanned? I might have left scanning range.
4, 3, 2.
I'm not sure I got caught.
Engage.
We might have gotten away with it. Anyway, you can reset the power back to its base levels. Oh, and this is a hyperspace jump. Coming out of these was a little unnerving for a while. So whenever those come looming up at you, it's a little exciting.
Scooping. Fuel scooping complete.
Now then, we're going to figure out where we're supposed to go. Irwin Port.
Fuel
Right
scoop
there.
disengaged.
The fuel scoop is a device I installed on my ship not that long ago with the express intent, oh good, we're nice and close, of I don't need to stop at a starport to refuel anymore. The nervous bit of that is that I do have to skim a star. I basically scoop up fuel from the corona of a star. So you have to watch your heat levels because you can overheat the ship pretty quick. And I'm probably going to skip past this thing. I didn't slow down fast enough, so I'm going to miss it, and I'll have to come back around. And right now we're traveling in Super Cruise, which is the second of the 3 main travel methods. You can fly at normal speeds inside of a particular area. Super Cruise is what you use when you're hopping around between planets in a system. I should just discover everything in the range here, too. And hyperspace is obviously how you jump from actual system to system. Alright, so we're going around whatever planet this is. I didn't bother to check out what it is exactly. So we can go land at Irwin Port over here. Yep, and I'm going to miss it again, aren't I? No, maybe not, no. The planet's helping me to slow down. The gravity effect from the planet is actually holding back my throttle and not allowing me to go as fast as I would probably otherwise be going. I also want to resell my engines. I don't need to keep those fully powered. Okay, see, as soon as that number reaches less than 1.0 mm, which I am really not sure what that stands for, to be entirely honest. Cut back. Oh, come on, you're not going to speed me up and throw me off course again. All right, nope, there we go. Safe disengage. I know it looks like I flew past, but I got destination lock. You can see it up there in the info tab. And here's Irwin Port. So we'll fire up the engines, and as soon as we get a little closer, we will request docking from Irwin Port. Another thing to keep in mind while you're observing this is
Docking request granted.
we're not even close to... Did I get fined? Is that what I saw there? No, just a bounty. So I avoided getting scanned. I got out of there fast enough. Probably about as close as I could have, but I did manage to avoid it. Where the hell is my docking port? Anyway, what was I saying? Oh yeah, something to keep in mind is they're actually still working on a lot of releases that's going to make this game really cool. One of the next things that they're planning on doing, I believe, I'm not sure exactly how quickly this is going to happen, but they're working on doing planetary landings so that you can actually take your ship and land it on a planet. And I'm coming at that from the wrong direction. Once you're on the planet, you'll enter an FPS mode. I believe they want to make it so that you'll be able to walk around the interior of your ship. You'll be able to leave the cockpit and walk around on the inside. They want to have player-owned capital ships, which are huge ships. I haven't personally seen one yet, but I've seen the dimensions. Put down my landing gear before I get too much closer. Fire lateral thrusters to get down there.
Landing
Back on the
gear
throttle.
deployed.
Not that far. And then we gotta get lined up. That little holographic display there. Oh, a little too far. Back up.
Docking
There we go.
successful.
Starport
Engines
services.
disengaged.
Bulletin board. And as soon as it loads up, we'll turn in our job and get paid. And we just made 78,000 credits. I need to make a lot more, though. Because the last module that I need for what I want to do is 1.4 million, I believe. In fact, I can even show you how that's done. Once you've purchased your ship from a shipyard in one of the bigger ports, you can come into... Most ports have an outfitter. Some of the really tiny ones don't. But you go to the outfitter, and you can upload your ship with as many upgrades as it's capable of holding. So far, I've upgraded a fair amount of stuff on this machine. I've upgraded thrusters, the FSD, which stands for frame shift drive, if I didn't mention that already. Power plant. I haven't upgraded the alloys, but I probably should. Life support. I still need to update the power distributor. The sensors have been upgraded. The fuel scoop was added, and I'm working on a whole bunch of other stuff. And the sheer amount of customization you can put into these things is kind of astounding. You'll see that all of these have a number. So, for instance, life support is B3 and a 3 underneath for environmental control. The number on the bottom is the maximum class that this thing can fit. So it can hold up to a class 3 life support system. The actual module is listed above it. So right now I have a B-rated class 3 life support system. And a class C... a rated C class 3 life support would be less effective than the one I've currently got. So they're all rated, I think, like F through A, and then ratings, I think, go between 1 and 8, with 8 being on the really big ships. Plus, I've got all of these things, which are mostly empty on my machine, because I'm building this to be an exploration ship, not a combat vessel, but I've got 2 medium hardpoints and a large hardpoint. These go up as far as huge and down as far as small. Plus the utility mounts, which will boost shields or allow for cargo... do these provide cargo scanning? Kill warrant scanner, cargo scanner, shield booster, all kinds of fun stuff. Frame shift interdictor, I think, is one of them. That might actually be in the internals, which is a device that lets you pull people out of super crews, physically grab onto them and yank them out so you can pirate them if you want to, or grab a wanted person and destroy them. If you do destroy someone that has a wanted fine on them, then you can collect bounties on them. and that's how you earn money doing that. Just the sheer number of options that they've provided you with so far is pretty cool. I will say you have to be a little patient, though. It can take a while to earn enough credits to do some of the really cool stuff, to buy the really big ships. But, frankly, I don't really get tired of it. I have been playing this game for 37 hours, and I have not owned it for a week yet. I think I've had it for 6 days. And I keep coming back to it. Every single day I'll come home and I'll sit down and play it for another 3 or 4 hours, and I never get tired of it. I meant to go on the bulletin board. See what other kinds of jobs I could get. And I haven't even touched on the commodities market, which is actually how a lot of people make the really big bucks. They'll save up a whole bunch of credits, buy a really big freighter, and then they will, let's see, system switch, okay, we'll take that. Then they will go from system to system, buying up trade goods in one place and selling them somewhere else and turning a pretty big profit. You can do the same thing with mining. That's another option. If you've got a big cargo hold, a refinery, and a mining laser, you can mine asteroids off of the rings from planets or asteroid belts and just take those and convert them into usable materials, which you don't have to pay for, and then sell them off wherever you can. And which port am I taking that to? I need to remember the name. Lorenz Works. Remember that. And help me remember it. When we get there, everyone should be chanting Lorenz Works at their YouTube account. Monitor. That's the word. The magic box that shows my face on it. Anyway, I really like this game. I'm a huge fan of piloting sims. I think they're awesome, especially when they're complicated. And this has got a lot of button presses to navigate the cockpit and all the menus, and I haven't even done some of the really complicated stuff.
Engines engaged. Landing gear.
And I'm just playing this on a mouse and keyboard right now. I have my eye on some really nice joystick and thruster controls that I would love to get and configure so that I could play it with those. Oh, right. You'll notice in the bottom right there, there's 3 little icons. When those are lit up, those are preventing me from making the jump.
Frameshift drive charging.
Cargo scoop is fairly obvious. You can actually deploy that and pick up items that are floating around in space. You scoop them up with the cargo scoop. Landing gear, you know how that works. And mass lock, when you're too close to big objects, the gravity will hold you in place until you get away, and then you can make the jump. Oh, and it's so cool. The lighting on this game is amazing as well. I can see my arms and me, which is kind of nice. Oh, I should pay attention to the sun that's going to be jumping out at me. Alright, do you all remember what you're supposed to be chanting?
Scooping. Fuel scooping complete.
Pretty sure it was Lorenz Works. There it is. Lock destination.
Fuel scoop disengaged.
Oh, wow, that one's a ways out there. Tell you what, I'm not going to make you watch me just zoom through space, so I will pause it for a second. I'll be back in a minute, and if anything exciting happens, I'll cue it back up. See you in a minute. Okay, and we're back, and pretty close to Lorenz Works. I wound up not paying attention because I got distracted by something up there that I saw, and I wound up skipping past it a little ways, but we're just about there. Slow back on the throttle there a bit. Alright, closing. You can see in the bottom left there, those are the 2 gauges that you need when you're approaching the system. Oops, that's the game being a little bit buggy. Not too bad, though. I really haven't had nearly as many problems with loading and whatnot as you'd think in a system that's so massively procedurally generated. It also occurs to me, I keep talking about retrofitting this ship for exploration, but I didn't explain why. One of the other ways that you can participate in the galactic community, so to speak, is to do exploration work. If you jump to a system that hasn't been mapped, you can map it with a discovery scanner, at which point you can travel farther and farther away and then sell that data to other systems. And that's how you make money doing it. But the part that's really appealing to me is if you get there first and you discover it, on everybody's map, it will actually show that. It'll say who that body was discovered by. So if one of you was to start playing this and encounter a system that I explored, then on your map it would say, you know, discovered by, and I think it shows Commander as the title. Commander Braskus would have discovered this. And any game that allows for that level of... It really makes you feel like you've got an effect on the game world, that you could, I don't know, get permanent credit for discovering something like that. That's just really cool to me. Oop, careful. Okay. Wasn't sure I was going to make it in there.
Landing gear
Coming
deployed.
in really hot there. And all back on the throttle.
Docking successful.
That was pretty good.
Engines disengaged.
And we'll refuel real quick. Check my bulletin board. Turn in the job. Hopefully before I get scanned and fined for it. There we go. And of course I'm going to take the 155,000 credit job. So, that is our introduction to Elite Dangerous. I will almost certainly do at least one or two more once I've got the upgrades that I need for exploration, because I'd love to show you guys something like what I'm looking for. I'm looking for a whole bunch of stuff. And I'm going to try and visit a black hole, maybe not the supermassive one in the middle. That was kind of the eventual goal. I want to find and view a neutron star. I want to see if I can find a quasar. And maybe a couple of other things along those lines. I want to go visit some of the nebulas. There's one I've got my eye on. I don't think it's actually a nebula, but I'm not really sure. It's called the Coal Sack. And it's just this big, black, empty cloud of darkness floating out on the edge of... Well, not on the edge, but out in one portion of the galaxy. I really want to go see what that looks like. So I'll probably be going there before too much longer. So I like to make some videos and show you guys some of the stuff like that. So this has just really been an intro. This is just scratching the surface, and I can't wait for some of the new updates. Planetary landings, walking around the inside of the ship. I really hope that they introduce some cool stuff like the ability to dock your ship with your friends' ships and actually see each other in space. I think that would be really cool, and I really don't know all the details they've got planned, but this is a very big, very expansive game, and they did everything they could to really build on the realism to at least a certain extent. And I love it. So I encourage you all to go and try it if you like flight sims or space sims or even just space or exploration or anything like that. Be prepared for a little bit. Be prepared to invest time. If all you care about is getting a little ship and having fun with it, then by all means. But if you're going to work towards the really big stuff, be prepared to invest a lot of time, because it does take a while, but it's worth the effort. So, that's all the time I have for this video, and I will, of course, see you guys in another one. Please leave a like if you've enjoyed the video and you want to see more. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, because we'd love to have you. And, as always, in the comments, please let me know if you've got any ideas for the games you want to play, or if there's something you want to see me do in this. If you know the name of a system. Certain systems are actually in the locations in the Milky Way. So if you know of somewhere you want to see, I will do my best to try and find it and go see if I can explore it. Just suggest it in the comments. I'm always checking them. Yeah, I think that's everything. So I will see you guys in the next video. Catch you guys later.